Hi, I'm Andrew, and I care for my mother who's been living with dementia. On this channel, I share my caregiving journey, the lessons, the love, and the faith that carries me through. Let us encourage and support each other as we journey together. Hello to all my YouTube family and friends. Welcome back to A Caregiver's Love. If you are new here, my name is Andrea, and this is a place where caregivers are seen, heard, encouraged, and reminded that they never have to walk this journey all on their own. And if you have been walking with me through this grief series, a very warm welcome back. Thank you for allowing me to walk beside you through these conversations. My prayer has been that somewhere along the way you felt a little less alone. If this is your first episode, I'm especially glad you are here. This is for every caregiver who is learning that grief isn't something we simply get over. It's something we learn to walk through with God's help, one step at a time. Today, I would like to begin a little different. Can I confess something to you? There are moments when I'm afraid I'll forget. Not forget that my loved one mattered. I'll never forget that. Neither will I forget that I love them. I'd never forget that either. But forget the little things. The sound of their laughter. The way they smiled when they saw me coming. Little expressions they used over and over and over again. The stories that only the two of us shared with each other. Maybe you had those moments yourself. Someone tells a story about a loved one, and everyone around us remembers it. And they remember it immediately. But somehow, you don't. Or perhaps you close your eyes and try to picture their face, and for just a split second, it didn't come back to you as clear as it used to be. Those moments can catch us off guard. They can. Because if we're honest, the fear isn't really about memory. The fear is much deeper. It is the quiet thought that whispers, if I forget, have I lost them over again? If that's ever been your fear, I'd like to sit with you there for a while today. Just for a little while. Because I believe God has something beautiful to say to us. You know, I've been thinking about the people who have shaped my life. Can I remember every conversation? No. Mm-mm. Can I remember every piece of sound advice they gave me? No. What about the hugs? No. Every prayer that they prayed for us? Not really. But somehow they are still with us. Not because we remember every detail, but because their influence has become a part of who we are. Maybe you caught yourself saying something and suddenly smiled because you realized that sounded just like my loved one. Or maybe you've encouraged someone who was hurting and later thought, those were my father's words or my mother's words. Perhaps you found yourself making one of their favorite recipe, or laughing the way they laughed, or showing patience because they first showed patience to you. In those moments, are you remembering them? Or are you living what they planted inside you? I think it's both. The Apostle Paul wrote these words to Timothy. I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded now lives in you also. I love that verse. Paul doesn't tell us what Lois looked like. We don't have a clue. He doesn't tell us what her voice sounded like either. He doesn't tell us what her favorite sayings were. Instead, he points to something even greater. He pointed to her faith. Her faith was still alive. It was living in Timothy. Her life was still bearing fruit. What a beautiful picture of legacy. The people we love don't simply leave behind memories. They leave behind faith. They leave behind courage, compassion. They leave behind the wisdom, the character, and those gifts continue blessing people long, long after they are gone from this earth. There's another scripture that has become especially meaningful to me, and it's from Malachi. Malachi tells us that a scroll of remembrance was written in God's presence. Every time I read those words, it does something to me, because they remind me of something I desperately need to remember. The responsibility has never been mine to remember perfectly, neither is it yours. God is already doing that for us. He remembers every prayer our loved ones prayed for us. He remembers every sacrifice that they made, every act of kindness that was done by them. And He remembers every tear that they cried, and even the expression of love that they showed. Nothing about their life has been lost. Nothing has escaped God's notice. Really, nothing has been forgotten. Not by God, at least. And somehow that allows me to breathe a little easier. Because even if one day my memory isn't as sharp as it once was, and we're getting older, right? God's memory never fades. I'd like to leave you with one picture today, right? Imagine one single candle burning in a dark room. Now imagine that candle lighting another candle, then another candle, then another candle. Before you know it, the room is filled with light, right? And we're assuming that none of them goes out yet. Eventually, the first candle is going to burn out. But has the light disappeared? No. Its flame continues in every candle it touched. I think that's what love does for us, and what faith does for us too. I think that's what a life well lived does. It keeps lighting other lives long after the years have passed, long after the tears become less frequent. The light continues. Maybe, that's why Jesus called us to be the light of the world. Light was never meant to stay in one place. Nope. It was always meant to be shared. Perhaps the light your loved one carried is still shining today, and it's shining through you. Before we close, I'd like to invite you to do something with me. If you're comfortable, close your eyes for just a minute, just a moment. Don't try to remember everything. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Instead, ask yourself one simple question. What is one beautiful thing they left in me? Maybe they taught you perseverance. Maybe they taught you kindness. Maybe they taught you generosity. Maybe they taught you what it means to trust God, totally trust Him. Maybe they taught you to laugh, even when it's difficult seasons that we're going through. Whatever came to your heart, hold on to it, because that's a part of their legacy. And every time you live out that quality, their love continues to bear fruit. So if you have been afraid that one day you'll forget, I hope you remember this instead. The greatest tribute to a life well lived isn't remembering every detail. It's allowing their love to keep changing yours. Feel free to open your eyes now. One day you may not remember every conversation. You may not remember every date. My aunt used to remember all the dates. She was a historian of the family. You may not remember every little story, but if you have become more compassionate because they loved you, if you have become more patient because they believed in you, if you have become more faithful because they pointed you toward God, then their love is still changing the world, one life at a time, beginning with yours. I seriously thank you for spending this time with me today. If today's conversation encouraged you, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Share with us what is one quality, or maybe a lesson or an expression from your loved one that still lives in you today. Your story may become exactly the encouragement other caregivers need to hear today. And if you know someone who quietly carries this fear, would you consider sharing this episode with them? Please. It may be exactly the reminder that they need today. Until next time, let me encourage you to love upon your loved ones right now while they still can appreciate your love. Walk good. Goodbye.